Question for you. We've been talking about making a difference and how important it is. We have given some encouragement to inspire you to take the next step and to reach out to change somebody's life. If you've been walking with us on this journey, then I ask you, how's it been going? Maybe you've been trying to make a difference, but it seems a little overwhelming. There are, after all, so many people out there and so many different needs. Well, this is where the next step in our podcast, Truth That Changes Things, comes in. We are being the difference, one heart at a time. Notice I said, one heart at a time. Now, why do we approach being a difference this way? Because, first of all, we are attacking this commission from a manageable place. My question is, if you were to even try, how would you attempt to eat an elephant? The answer is one bite at a time. How do you play a baseball game? Again, the answer is one pitch at a time. You can't throw 3 pitches at the same time. You throw 1 pitch at a time. How do you play a football game? One down at a time. Without question, the world is what we're trying to change. Thankfully, we're not asked to do this in massive chunks of ministry. We are to focus upon the whole world as if we were the only church to reach it, but we do it one heart at a time. We are asked to meet the demands of ministry one heart at a time. Are you getting the theme yet? There's a quote that says, "One may walk over the highest mountain, but they do it one step at a time." John Wanamaker, which is the former U.S. Postmaster General, said that. There have been over 4,000 successful climbs to the summit of Mount Everest, and they all did it the same way, one step at a time. It amazes me how much can be accomplished when we take the one step at a time approach. 13,171 miles is how long the Great Wall of China is. Depending on who you read after, they say that the wall took 2,300 years to build. There's approximately 3,873,000,000,000 individual bricks. But this is how the wall was built, one block at a time. There's a danger in trying to tackle too much. What's the problem with tackling too much, you ask? Well, number one, it would encourage us to quit. Becoming overwhelmed in the work is a very real possibility. This is a huge world that we live in, and there are many to be ministered to. Our theme provides a workable ministry model because it makes the work manageable. If we want to move a mountain of sand, you don't do it 100 tons at a time unless you have one of those big dozers. You would do it 1 grain of sand at a time. In that case, anyone can do it. I do not have to minister to everyone in Inman, South Carolina, where I pastor every single day. I need to choose at least one person to make a difference in their life every day. If I reach out to one person at least every day, that is 365 people that I will have ministered to at year's end. But here's the deal. If you have 50 people doing that, at the same year's end, you'll have 18,250 people whose lives have been touched. This isn't a sprint that we're on. This is an endurance race. If you try to do too much, too fast, you will succeed in doing nothing but discouraging yourself. In the book Atomic Habits, James Clear uses what he calls the 2-minute rule. Learn how to do what you want in 2-minute increments. Let's use the example of going to the gym. Say going to the gym starts out with what you would actually do in the first 2 minutes. Then after you've gotten that down, after you've become successful at that, the next 2 minutes you add to that, and so on and so forth. Before you know it, you'll have made a habit out of going to the gym. Bite-sized pieces is what we're talking about. Just focus on touching one life and see what God will do with that. What else is the problem with tackling too much at a time? Number two, it encourages us to cut corners. For that person that has, say, a stick-to-it attitude, they're not into quitting. They're going to stick with it. They may not quit, but they may cut corners. Just doing the easy thing only. Sure, we want to use Facebook to do some good. We need to do more good with Facebook. But put your quote on there and bless. Let that bless people. But don't let that text you could send or that phone call that you could make be left out. Be a blessing to other people and use every means you have to do it. If we were to minister to, say, one person every day, then we can give more energy and consideration, thoughtfulness, and even more time to be effective. Number three, what else is the problem with tackling too much at one time? It encourages us to compromise on the quality of our effort. It's not just about doing something so that we can say that we're making a difference. It is to put prayer and effort and wisdom, emotion, sensitivity, and even preparation into it. We want to have the greatest impact possible, and these are some of the ways we do it. If I take on too much, then there will not be enough of me to go around. There's too many people to minister to and too many different needs. This is the challenge of every parent that has a lot of children. Spreading yourself so thin and spreading yourself around that everyone gets some of you but doesn't get all of you. If we do this one thing, one heart at a time, then we can give the greatest amount of effort to that cause. This was the majority of Jesus' ministry, to be honest with you. There are more passages in the Word of God of Him ministering to one person than there are of Him ministering to thousands. Now, how else does ministering to one heart at a time help us? Well, this will be the topic of our next podcast. As we take our own advice and share just a bite-sized piece with you, we'll give you small bites to chew on along the way. May the Lord speak to you about making a difference in someone's life today.